apparently there was also this other thing where Brett Favre worked with the former governor of Mississippi to steal welfare money. It's a weird story. I don't know all the details. So we're gonna watch this news report real quick. Brett Favre, as in the legendary football player, worked to steal welfare money for himself with the former governor of Mississippi. So let's take a look.
More on the newly revealed text messages between NFL Hall of Famer Brett Favre and Mississippi's former governor that are raising questions about an investigation into the misuse of government welfare funds. Joining us now, reporter for Mississippi Today, Anna Wolf. She's been at the forefront of this story from the beginning. Anna, thanks so much for being here with us. For people who are just now kind of catching up to or tuning into this story, take a step back for us on how this all began with Southern Mississippi, University of Southern Mississippi, wanting a new volleyball facility. Brett Favre's daughter played volleyball at Southern Mississippi. He thought he could help, but not with any of the some $140 million he earned during his NFL career, but with welfare funds.
So back in 2017, Brett Favre had this idea of building a new volleyball stadium at USM, and he was trying to find money from different sources and somehow got connected with the welfare department. He was good friends with Phil Bryant before that, so we're still trying to kind of piece together, how he ended up having this conversation with the head of the welfare department and this nonprofit founder, Nancy New. When he met with them, they immediately committed $4 million out of this welfare fund to build the volleyball stadium. And to get the project really rolling, they kind of had to get the governor on board. And the text messages that we revealed this week show sort of how that process went.
And Elise, you are a native of Mississippi, as our viewers know. As I said earlier, poverty.
Yeah, they watched the movie Human Centipede and were like, yes, this is how you properly treat women.
Is the highest in the country in that state. Welfare money obviously critical to helping people survive.
No, Willie, and Anna's reporting has just been jaw-dropping, and it wouldn't have frankly happened if she hadn't been willing to probe so many government documents, push for so many documents to be released to the public. You really have just been indefatigable. You've just been so incredible here, Anna. What can you tell us about how this is going forward with the FBI investigating? Is anything happening there?
So we do know that the FBI is investigating for the last 2 years. We know that they met with Favre at one point back early in the beginning after 6 people were arrested in 2020. But, as this has just been unfolding,
he's not just taking their welfare money. He's taking their welfare money to build a volleyball stadium. Like, I know volleyball is cool, I'm not anti-volleyball, but do you need an entire stadium for volleyball? I don't know, last I checked, it's like you get some sand in a box and call it a day with a net.
Main players of this scheme, namely
it's because his daughter plays college volleyball, but still, What kind of five-head goes, yes, my daughter needs a stadium to play volleyball in. I guess I'll steal it from welfare in Mississippi.
And Brett Favre have sort of tried to make excuses for their involvement. So Favre, obviously is connected to this volleyball stadium, but he says he didn't know the money came from welfare. I think these text messages will be interesting to investigators because
there's no way he didn't know the money was coming from welfare, chat.
They show, a little bit more of that intentionality. There was even a text from Brett Favre that asked the nonprofit founder, is there any way that the media can find out where this money came from and how much if you give it to me?
That's just so incredible.
That kind of shows where shows where their head was at in terms of taking.
Okay, if you're going is the media going to find out where this money came from? Then you fucking know what you're doing.
One of these texts that was made public from Favre to Miss New, who you mentioned with that nonprofit, was, "Nancy, Santa came today and dropped some money off. Thank you. My goodness.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you. We need to set up the promo for you soon. You are way too kind," wrote Brett Favre. So you started to answer my question, but where does this go from here? Who's going to be prosecuted, if anyone? Who's in trouble?
Yeah, so I mean, the feds are pretty tight-lipped about how this investigation is going, but we know that the Biden administration has just appointed this new U.S. attorney in this district, and he'll inherit the program. He comes from public integrity, so in terms of like the people who would be looking into this case, he's quite a pick for inheriting this investigation. I think it's important to note, that they knew that they couldn't just embezzle this money and put it to the volleyball stadium. So they had to come up with this explanation for why welfare money would legitimately go to build this volleyball stadium. They said that the nonprofit was going to be providing services there, which just kind of goes to show how lax these federal rules are, that they could skirt the regulations, skirt the prohibition on using welfare for construction projects by just saying it would help someone in poverty.
Well, and Anna, an amazing stat. You said last night.
But you see, government, I need the money to build this $100 million stadium for volleyball. Because it's also going to be a transformer. It's going to transform into a homeless shelter. Maybe. We're still working on the kinks on how to make that happen, but that's our goal. So, money, please.
That only about 200 adult Mississippians are receiving these federal welfare dollars. I would have assumed that 200 individuals would have received that in just my home county. So why is the money, federal money, why is it not getting to Mississippians who need it?
Right. So, I mean, the federal government is allowing this to happen.
Wait. What? How is that possible? Wait.
Federal government volleyball stadium, they said that the nonprofit was going to be providing services there, which just kind of goes to show how lax these federal rules are, that they could skirt the regulations, skirt the prohibition on using welfare for construction projects by just saying it would help someone in poverty.
Well, and Anna,
someone make me a meme where it's like, make me a meme of this, like, oh, when poor people need welfare, like, the hand away. When Brett Favre needs to build a $100 million volleyball stadium, eyes going awooga, that meme.
amazing stat. You said last night that only about 200 adult Mississippians are receiving these federal welfare dollars. I would have assumed that.
Oh, okay, chat. I know that Republicans make it hard deliberately to get on welfare. How the fuck are only 200 people in the entire state of Mississippi getting welfare? How is that possible? Wait, I want to double check that, because that just sounds insane to me. 200 people on welfare. Yo, Brett Favre was even paid. Like, it wasn't even just out of. Oh my god. Brett Favre defrauded the welfare system and then received $1.1 million contract to promote the program, which I guess he repaid, but Mississippi Community Education Center Incorporated is the entity. Well, what service? Maybe they'll say the name of the program.
200 individuals would have received that in just my home county. So why is the money, federal money, why is it not getting to Mississippians who need it?
Right. So, I mean, the federal government is allowing this to happen. The federal government has such lax rules around how this money is spent that It allows states to spend it however they wish, basically. There's $16 billion nationally, still across the country, a lot of which is not being used on evidence-based practices for disrupting poverty. Nancy New and Phil Bryant, they could have spent every dollar here perfectly legally and still never helped anyone. And that's a systemic problem. That's a welfare program that doesn't actually prioritize the end result.
Oh, okay. The program is TANF. Okay, yeah. So TANF stands for Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. It's designed to get families who are like absolutely bottom of the barrel poor to a place where they can self-sustain. Okay? Okay. So I think they're just wrong in this report, chat. A little less than 2,000 people are on, or a little bit more than 2,000 people are on TANF in Mississippi. So maybe she just missed the zero.
Someone leaving poverty. That's not what the program looks at. The program sort of prioritizes this notion that people in poverty just need to, get a pep talk.
He stole from people. By the way, guys, TANF provides $200 per month plus $24 per person in the household of assistance. Brett Favre, who, what is Brett Favre's net worth? Yeah, Brett Favre's net worth is around $100 million. Yeah, Brett Favre has no business taking money from a program that's intended to give people $200 a month. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is literal Sheriff of Nottingham shit.
From Brett Favre in order to escape poverty. That prioritize.
Well, Catalina Gearbox, it's also not intended to be something that you're living on. It's intended to be supplemental.
This is that over actual outcomes.
And almost 1 in 5 people in Mississippi live in poverty. Reporter for Mississippi Today, Anna Wolf, just doing extraordinary reporting, bringing all of this to light. Thanks so much for bringing it to us, Anna. We appreciate it.
God, that was somehow worse than I was expecting, and I was expecting it to be pretty bad. Nothing there to keep people there? I mean, well, wrong, Ashley. There's one thing there to keep people there, and it's called poverty. How many people would it have gone to? Well, you know what? Good question. Let's find out. $200. Well, you know what? Let's say $300 on average because people got families. Okay, 300 times, let's say 12 for a year. Okay, so $3,600 times 100 times honestly, the amount that was stolen from this program could probably fund a couple thousand families for an entire year on that program. So which would you rather have? Poor people having the opportunity to, not die, or a brand new volleyball stadium?